Are y'all ready to get this started? 3, 2, 1. Hey, I know what time it is.
You know what it is.
You are now tuning into the best business radio program in Central VA.
Turn it up.
On the mic with Mike on WJFM Radio.
All right, good morning. This is Chris Mayfield. I'm the founder of Perfusion Consulting and the host of the Fusion Hub on ESPN 106.1, where business, community, and culture come in one ugly mess, and then we pull each string and pull them apart until it all makes sense. So today we are having a conversation about community involvement in businesses. So businesses giving of their time and their resources to make the communities that we live and work in a better place. So this morning I am joined by three esteemed, highly qualified subject matter experts on community building. And I say that not jokingly, because each in their own way give of their time and their resources to make sure that we have communities that we want to live in. So if you would, good morning, and please introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about your business, and we'll jump right into the conversation.
Great. I'll start. My name is Keyshawn Fenty with Launch Trampoline Park. We're a family entertainment space of 29,000 square feet of awesomeness. And so we provide a lot of fun for kids and their families through our laser tag, the trampolines, through every feature that we have in the park there. So it's really, really fun. It's great for physical and mental and emotional health.
All right. Crystal?
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Crystal Suber. I'm the owner at Crystal Clear Financial Solutions, where we help you win the money and finance game, whether it's for a small business or whether it's for your family. We want to help you to protect the things most important to you and grow your assets so you can have a wonderful future and a successful retirement.
And I'm Lamar Taliaferro. I am the Director of Business Development for Poplar Springs Hospital. We are a 208-bed behavioral health hospital located in Petersburg, Virginia. We offer a variety of services from inpatient, outpatient, to even residential care for adolescents, adults, and also our military.
All right, so the topic for today is corporate social responsibility, CSR. And what that simply just means is businesses taking interest in their community. And Crystal, you said something during your introduction that kind of, I already have big ears.
Sure.
And it kind of made them perk up a little bit about winning the financial game. Because a lot of folks right now are playing to not lose, which is
Right.
different than winning.
Absolutely.
And when we have a strong small businesses in our community and folks that work inside nonprofits, I think that's how we turn the difference between not losing and winning. So can you start off with a little bit about how your business gets involved in the community and some of the things that you do?
Okay. So I believe in partnerships, right? So that means that you want to do the things that you do well, and the things that you don't do so well, may not know so much about. You don't have to know everything. You just have to know where to go for those things that you may not be an expert at. So in business, I had to go out and hire a bookkeeper. I didn't necessarily want to, but it made sense for me to do so, and it added so much value for my business. Sometimes people don't want to talk about money, they don't want to talk about finances, and we live in a world where everything's on our phones. We feel like we can do it ourselves, but it's nothing like having someone who is trained, experienced, and has the education and knowledge to be able to help you and to hold you accountable as well. Because you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you're not implementing it, you're not going to get where you want to go. And you definitely won't get there the most efficient route. So that's the benefit of partnering with a financial professional to help you stay on track, stay on task, identify what you want your goals to be, and help you create a plan. So that's what I do kind of professionally. And then from a community standpoint, it's kind of the same thing. There's a lot of needs in the community, and just being a benevolent person I see a need, I immediately want to get out there and help. But we have limited resources, and I certainly have limited time. So I had to kind of, pick the things that I was passionate about. Financial literacy being one of them, social activism and social justice being another, and education, because education has opened up every door for myself. So those are some of the things that that I'm very passionate about and that I wanted to give back and help my community in those sorts of ways. So I started a nonprofit, Patchwork RVA, and Patchwork RVA is largely about education and social justice. But in addition to that, my nonprofit, I also support other causes that are near and dear to my heart. So I've been a supporter of Diversity Richmond for a long time, and supporting the LGBTQ plus community. As a member of that community, very passionate about that as well. I'm a member of the LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce. I also serve on the Board for Equality Virginia, where we're fighting for equality in the Virginia state laws that affect how LGBTQ persons are treated at work and in their communities, and how we're able to live out our lives. And so that's very near and dear to me as well. So I do a lot along that effort and that front. And then I've got a good friend that had a preemie baby, and I didn't realize until she kind of went through her struggle just how many women of color specifically suffer with issues of dealing with childbirth. And supporting the preemie babies and the families in the NICU and PICU units at the area hospitals, she founded an organization called Baby Buns for Life. And I'm very much so entrenched in that organization as well. So I'm always looking at ways to give back and to help the community, but it largely deals with, kind of us partnering with each other and identifying where there's a need and how we can get involved. And, there are organizations that, do so many wonderful things here in the area, and you want to support them all. But we kind of looked at, with Baby Buns, I know we kind of looked, there really wasn't an organization. There's Notre Dame, so it's a national organization. There wasn't a local organization providing those types of services, so there was a specific need there. With the social justice and education, Patchwork RVA, we started because when everything happened in 2020 with George Floyd, and we wanted to really get involved and have a long-standing impact in the community and a footprint in the community. And we took on voter education as one of our platforms, and that's how we saw ourselves really bringing about a change and contributing to that conversation in a positive way. And so, we started registering voters and doing voter education drives and things of that nature around the city. And we've grown from that. Now we have a STEM program that we are helping sixth graders be exposed to coding and nice. Things like that. And then financial literacy, which I've mentioned I'm passionate about. That's what I do. We also have a program. So oftentimes I'm bringing Crystal Clear Financial and Patchwork RVA into the community to talk to people about money and do free workshops and answer their questions and help them to get a better footing with whatever financial resources they have to maximize what they're able to do with them.
Oh, sounds like you are staying busy.
Busy.
I would love to have at some point you come on and talk on my show, which airs on Thursdays from 6 to 7 a.m. about Patchwork.
Okay.
Because my company is a benefit corporation, and we donate all of our profits to charity. And we do that in support of three very specific reasons: food scarcity, creating education opportunities wherever we can help, and social and criminal justice reform. My wife has a background as a public defender in Norfolk.
Okay.
Now she's in private practice here in Richmond, but so that is something that we lived through, not firsthand because she was on this side of the bars, so to speak, but we lived that struggle for a lot of years, and it's really heartbreaking, some of the legislation that's out there. Some poor person gets caught, poor as an unfortunate person gets caught maybe shoplifting for the third time, and they get a 15-year sentence for taking a $3 worth of candy out of a 7-Eleven. And so it's heartbreaking to watch those kind of things happen, and then more frustrating when you realize it's a generational wealth issue.
Yes.
It's about money management and over time. So I'd love to help support you that further in that when we have an opportunity. But for the purpose of today, let's move on.
Let's do it.
Great, thank you. So at launch, we believe that everyone should have an equal rights opportunity to an enjoyable and sustainable life. And we do that through mentorship and through modeling the 3 E's, which is economics, entrepreneurship, and economy. And the thing that is really important with that is that whether you're able-bodied or we call them exceptional, that you should be able to come into our facility, get a job, have an opportunity to live and make a life for yourself without feeling like you're separated from society. And we also want families to be able to have great memories, whether they're coming in for family vacation or they're traveling. And one of the biggest things that a lot of people do not talk about when it comes to play, there's a science behind play that helps you to relieve stress, that helps your mental health, mental illnesses. Everything is challenged when those endorphins are moving and they're growing. So our founders really began this company, and they chose to franchise with Launch to be able to teach their children to be owners, to have an owner's mindset, and that you can do something for the community. You can add to the economy by having a business, creating opportunities for everyone, and to think on the level of ownership so that there's more than just you. You can't just go to work and have a job and that's it. They wanted their family to be able to give back to the community. And a lot of programs that they have, well, we have now that I'm on board, I'm so excited about that. So I want to give a little bit of a background here. So LaShawanda Moore and her husband, Roderick, we've been friends for, I guess, like maybe 5 or 6 years since they moved from Texas to Virginia. They downsized their home when they came here for this very purpose, to do something for the economy and for the community, to become part of the fiber of it. And so when we met, and if you'll ever meet LaShawanda Moore or her family, you're like, this woman is larger than life. It's crazy. Their entire family, their entire corporation, they're all about 100% giving. So when I met her at church, I was just like, we're going to be friends. That's my girl. Like, I just knew it immediately. And she's just vibrant. And when you get to know her story, you'll see why mental health is a really big push for her. And so as they began to grow this company and get into the community, we just started helping volunteering with her and this company to do shoe drives, blood drives, backpacks for the schools in the community to be able to help and to give back. And so whether you live in the city or in the county, there's always a need if you will open your eyes to see it.
Sure.
You have to open your eyes to see what's there. And we fully believe that you always have to give back. Like scripture says, it's blessed to give than to receive. And when you're always giving, people will gladly give back to you. So we have a partnership with Brainy Bites right now that we're doing after school programs, summer programs, and during spring break to really enhance STEAM and STEM programs for our kids so that they can solve the world's problems in the future through technology, arts, through media, through math, through everything. And I love the whole engineering aspect of that because I don't think like an engineer. I'm more of the artsy, creative kind of person. And so when I see these kids, they're creating all these little projects. I'm just like, these kids are brilliant. They're going to change the future. It's just amazing. And kids that come from hard places. So kids like in foster care, that in the group homes, or that come from incarceration where it's a history. We love that we're able to open our doors to provide a space for them to really be able to say, you know what, I'm more than my label. I'm more than where I come from. I can do so much. And when you see their eyes open, you see their hearts just begin to beat. I'm just like, this is amazing. And so we also have our dodgeball tournament coming up, which we are donating back to the American Heart Association because one of our leaders, he's been supported by them since he was a child when he had a heart condition. So when that opportunity came up, we didn't want to do something because it's like it's a thing to do in February. It had to mean something. And because he's such a great leader there, so we were more than happy to be able to donate proceeds from the tournament back into the American Heart Association because it was done directly connected to one of our people. So it's always been such a blessing to see how our business can affect the community and really become part of the fiber of that. So being a part of the chamber and always connecting with media and just hearing what people are saying, that our family came in kind of broken today. We needed something fun to do, and they walked out the doors. You can see that their cohesion, their family was better. Kids with special needs came in. We have VIP days just for them to come in where all the music is. In Launch, it's loud. I'm not gonna lie. It's loud, it's bright, it's super fun. But for our VIPs, we turn off the music, we turn the lights down low so they don't have any extra stimulus that would trigger them. So they have an environment that's just for them. So it is just amazing, the abilities that we're able to do through commerce to be able to really support people and give back to them. So I could talk for 1,000 years on this.
Let's let Lamar get his.
Yes.
Let's let him get his little bit in.
Right.
And then we'll
I'm
come
ready to
back.
go to lunch.
But I will say that I did see the
Release some
dodgeball thing.
endorphins.
I think
Yes.
I saw it on LinkedIn.
Yes.
That's a great idea.
It's coming up.
Yes.
Make sure you register. Get a team together.
But I guess I'll go.
Yeah.
Well, Poplar Springs, one, we're a pretty long-standing staple in the community. I think we've been there almost 50 years. A lot of our staff members are actually either from that area or from Colonial Heights or neighboring counties. So we do a lot regarding, we do a lot of volunteer work with the Petersburg Breakfast Rotary Club. We also do a lot with the Colonial Heights Chamber and a ton with the Petersburg YMCA. I'm sorry, the Colonial Heights Petersburg Chamber, because now they've combined.
They're combined.
Right.
I used to be a member.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, we do a lot with them regarding volunteering. We built bikes for the YMCA for the adolescents in the community. We do have an adolescent program at Poplar Springs, so we do try to stay in contact with the local individuals or group homes and so forth throughout the area. But more importantly, last year or last 2 years, I guess how long has this pandemic been going on now? We've been dealing with a lot of compassion fatigue. A lot of our staff members are, this has been going on way too long. We've been stuck wearing masks, and so they're looking for ways to kind of get back to norm. So we've been doing a lot of things like. A lot of the 5Ks that are coming up, we're trying to get involved in that, kind of get out. That was why I liked your idea of the dodgeball idea, because I figured it was a way for us to come out and kind of de-stress and kind of just relax a little bit.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess we just we want to stay involved in the community and also kind of get back to normal.
You in particular, your hospital, I'm sure, has been under a lot of pressure for the last couple of years, because when there's sick folks, you got to take care of them.
Very true. But if you think about it, with COVID, it kind of led us to isolate. So we saw an uptick in people needing services for their adolescents. A lot of the military individuals need additional services. So we've been busy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And it's also inside of corporate social responsibility. We have this other element, right? Not just the people, but the people inside the businesses, right? They also are either can make or break a business, right?
Absolutely.
And because you volunteer to come here and take your time to talk about the business that you work for, because you're proud of that business, because of the mission that they have in their community. Believe it or not, and I'm a planner, so numbers are my thing, and 78% of businesses do not have a social engagement plan, a community engagement plan, which is not surprising because 51% of them don't even do employee evaluations or employee engagement at all. So businesses are not engaged in the community, and most businesses are not engaged in the community in a meaningful way, even though you're a perfect example of people, when they talk about the company that they work for and their company is doing great things, right, they're their chest rises up a little bit, and their head goes up a little bit, and their eyes sparkle because they're proud of being part of that organization. And it means something, and you're more likely to not quit your job and go someplace else. So it's great that you're looking at the employees and saying, how do we engage them with the community, but also how do I take care of them?
Right.
And make sure they understand that I care about them, not just what they do for me. So you're a perfect example, and I couldn't help but want to quit my job and go work for Launch. I was this close
I'm ready to go as
just
well.
doing a
we all
video
need to go.
resignation right now. I quit.
Thank
Fascinating,
you.
great organization.
Thank
I
you.
certainly want to support. I'm no longer going to any of the other trampoline parks.
Thank you. Come on over. And it's so great when you were saying about investing in the people that work there. So with any other companies that I've worked for, we provide services, but they often forget the people that are providing them. And so within Launch, there are 3 E's: ethics, entrepreneurship, and economy. Is that we're teaching our students, or high school students there, how to run a business. How do you think about ethics? How do you show up? If even something as simple as, if you're getting something from our cafe, which is amazing, by the way, a full-stock cafe, why don't you pay for that before you take it? There's certain things that you do that are automatic that you don't think about, but we're trying to train them to think ethically and in a professional way. And through, and then also through entrepreneurship, even though you may not own the company, think like an owner. What does that look like? How would you do your finances? How would you clock in on time or out of time? When you're on the clock, how do you operate as an employee? If you were the owner, what was it that you would want to? So as the managers, as leadership, almost every one of us that work there, we also have our own businesses, which is why I love Launch. They support small businesses everywhere. If you need a space, come on out, because we're going to provide that. But with our youth, as far as they're concerned, it's important for them to understand how the owner thinks, so that they can have a new mindset. And again, it's not just about them having a job while they're in high school. When they move on from us, they're going to college and hopefully having their own businesses in the future. They're going to remember principles that they learned from Launch, to be able to carry on to the future and change generational wealth, a generational mindset for themselves and for their kids. So we are super proud of our youth that work there. They are hard workers. Working at Launch is fun, but it's a lot of work. You're dealing with kids. Our facility is massive, and we're always cleaning. For COVID, we want to make sure that people come in healthy, they leave healthy. So the physical work is a lot, the fun is a lot, but our mindset that we're trying to transform is helping these kids to understand there's more than just today. There's a community outside you need to give to. Your future is important. So we love our 3 E's. We love how it's modeled and how the kids are learning it, and it changes us too. We have to be mindful of what it is that we're talking about. So it's transformative all the way around.
Now, Crystal,
Yes.
you are in what most people would consider a very competitive business. Financial planning, financial consulting is very competitive.
It is.
Because there's, the bar to entry into the business is relatively low, as opposed to like opening a Launch where you have a lot of infrastructure to pay for. And I can tell you from experience that requires a lot of time.
It does.
So how do you
Balance it all?
More importantly, one, how did you decide which community support activities you were going to get involved in, and then 2, how do you manage all that? How do you balance being successful in your own business, but also propping up and supporting your community?
Those are loaded questions.
I know.
We could be here all day.
That's why I'm here.
I'll say that my business very much so reflects my lived experiences, because when there are things that you're passionate about, it's a part of who you are. It's a part of who you are and what you do. And I am from one of those underserved communities, didn't have a whole lot of economic opportunities, didn't have a whole lot of those positive role models and representation that you're providing at Launch. teaching kids kind of about equity and ownership and that mindset. I did not have that mindset. I was taught pretty much, anything you do, do it well, work hard, work hard, work hard. So definitely very different mentality. But I sought out certain information for myself. I wanted to be financially well, and I didn't know what that looked like. So, I started just sort of asking those sorts of questions for myself and seeking out that information for myself, and it took me down a path where I said, this is interesting to me. I think this is what I want to do because I want to help other people. I was learning so much, and then when I got my first career job after college, I said, I was still learning so much, and I was seeing even more so as you peel back the curtain how much people were struggling with financial matters and how it impacts not just them, but their children and so many other things, mental health. It really seeps into so many other layers of our lives. So having that financial wellness or that financial literacy and working on those pieces and that aspect of your life can really help you in so many other ways to be fully healthy as individuals. And so that's something I wanted for myself. And so it began as just a quest for myself and drive for myself, but also, my benevolent spirit, I want to give that to other people as well. I don't want to just get there by myself. I'm trying to bring everybody with me. So that's been my drive, that's been my passion, that's been my motivation as far as from a professional aspect. And then I really kind of struggled with, you mentioned it being very competitive. I'm sure that if I didn't do half of the things that I do with the community, I would probably, my business would definitely be a lot larger because I've never had a singular focused. I couldn't just say, this is what I'm going to do and put my nose down and focus 100% of my energy and everything in that. That's just not who I am. I think people that do that is wonderful, it's great, but I've always had other interests and other things that were equally important to me. And so I've had to kind of spread out my time, my availability to kind of fulfill for my own mental health and to do the things that was important to me. I needed that balance in my life. And so the community part is more of a calling. You don't think about it, you just do it. And so that's how I've kind of managed it. It's just been a passion and a reflection of my lived experiences and who I am and the people that, around me, and wanting to kind of, give back. That's always who I've been. So I have some pretty lofty goals, absolutely, but it's taken me a little longer to get there, and that's okay, because I'm also, anyone that follows me on social media knows me. I think I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy, and I don't think I would have that smile that people comment about all the time, that I have all the time, if I were just focused just on business and and not doing some of the other things that I'm doing. And it can be stressful sometimes. Just this weekend I was running around. We did we have ongoing toiletry drives and work with the homeless community as well, Patchwork RVA. And so we had a event yesterday partnering with another organization, All Families Matter, and we provided food, we provided clothing, we provided toiletries, we provided, hats, gloves, scarves, warmth things for the homeless community at the Maggie O. Walker statue. And running around last minute trying to get everything, and, we have diversity so kind that we have a storage unit there that's donated to us, so we're able to store all our things there, but we have to go and pick up the table and tablecloth and all that other kind of stuff. So doing all of that, and then I have a young man that's very important to me that he had been asking me, when are we going to hang out? He's 14 now, and he's like my godson. And so I'm like, yes, I'm coming. So although I was doing so much, I wrapped up everything, drove down there, spent that time. It's really about, you have to invest your time to the things that's important to you, and people make time for the things that's important to them. And so for me, it's just really genuine. It's about my lived experiences, who I am, my work with the LGBT community. I'm an LGBTQ plus person. I'm a Black woman, a business owner. All these things are very important to me. So, and so that's where I spend my time, and I'm always willing to give of my time to help others. That's who I am.
So interesting, just from a listening perspective.
Sure.
You have a wonderful blend of things, kind of something that you're passionate about, but you kind of have to do to earn a living, right? And mixed with things that you like to do because they make an impact in your community and they make you feel good. Lamar, as wonderful as the hospital is, that's a culture. You have a culture of one. Your organization has a culture of many.
Yes.
So can you talk a little bit about being inside the hospital culture and the community focus, and how what does that look like operating in, on a daily basis inside one? They're healthcare professionals, right? So they have at least some tendency to care about people, we hope.
Right.
But then two, there's another layer to running your hospital efficiently and taking care of your patients and being involved in the community. So they're different.
Yes.
They don't always go together. But if you can talk about that.
Sure. Well, basically, with mental health, behavioral health, first of all, I guess there's a stigma around mental health. So what we like to do, staff and management likes to get out into the community and do a lot of education. Educate the community about some of the warning signs, so we can provide them the help that's needed. Right. All right. So yes.
Okay. All right. So now let's go back to launch, because I'm curious here. How many youngsters work at launch?
Yes, we have a staff of about 200, and
Wow.
let's.
I thought she was going to say 20.
I'm going to break it down. So I've got about,
do
let's
it.
see. And so we have our seasonal ones that are here that come in just when they're off of breaks from college or from high school. So they're seasonal. Then we have maybe about 75 that are rather consistent. But again, and here's the reason why we have a lot of staff is because these are high schoolers, they're college students. They're not always available. So it's whoever comes available during that time is who we go through. And so with employment the way that it is right now, we're always looking for great people. And our party hosts are like the stars. It's amazing because we want families to have a great time. So we use those people as a party host to be able to provide that. So we have a lot of staff, but again, they're seasonal. They come at different times. So sometimes it feels like we're operating on a skeletal staff. Other times it's just like, woo, this is amazing. Everybody's here. It's awesome. So we have a diverse amount of people that do different things, and of course management as well too.
Have you? Does anyone, and I don't mean to put you on the spot here, and you can hit me later if you choose. Do you have any employees that you can think of that worked for you that are that success story? They've gone on and they started their own business, or they've.
I know, and so I wish I could tell that story. I know. So
I do too.
I know. We're 3 years old. I was there at the very beginning, and I officially came on staff last October. So I have not been there long enough to hear of that story. But you know what? I'm gonna go back and search and find out who it is, and it's gonna be on our social media by the end of the day, because that's a great question. Yes, I want to know these things.
Because what I would be interested to know is you have a very seemingly positive environment with great work, family oriented.
Yeah.
How do your employees, in terms of matriculation to universities or trade schools?
Befores and afters.
Is it higher? Is it lower? Is it about the same? Because I would have to believe that working in that environment, being engaged in a community, improves those, right? Improves the number of kids that are going to go and seek additional education, improves those that maybe start their own business.
Definitely.
So it'd be interesting to.
And so as you're talking, I'm thinking of one current employee. His name is Keyshawn, and he wants to be a fitness trainer. He's already looking into. He's like 17. He's already looking into space to have his own gym. He just got certified, and I'm just like, all right now, Keyshawn, come on.
Yeah.
At 17.
That's amazing.
yeah, and it's amazing to see just their drive. And so as you're working, he was talking about it the other day. He's like, I can't wait to do this and this and this and this. And I'm just like, okay, bro. That's awesome. Everything is in stages, but to see his excitement that he's already looking for that space, he's already building up his clientele, and he sees how, and when, of course, during COVID, when things were tough, he saw that, okay, then the owners still were paying their people. They didn't pay themselves. I can do that too. I can give of that. So just hearing his conversation over the last few days, just working with him and hearing his drive, it is just so encouraging to be like, okay, we've got some business people here. This is wonderful. But I'm going to go back and do some more digging and to see what we have, because I want to know. That would be wonderful.
I think it would be an interesting analysis, because I would bet, if I was a betting man, which I am, all three of you lunch, that your continuing education or your business, the young folks that went on to start their own business, I'll bet your percentages are significantly higher than average, because that's just a great environment to work in. You know, we have gone now about almost 40 minutes, and I have done one of the absolute worst things that a host can do. And I have not given you an opportunity to give out your contact information, because this is a great conversation and people may want to engage with you more and maybe take you up on some services or have a play date at launch.
Well, also, I have a 16-year-old daughter that will be looking for a place to work. So
There it is.
Yes, we'll get her started right away.
Partnerships, I love it.
Yes.
All right, so if we could just give social media handles, email addresses if you choose, phone numbers, and then we'll start wrapping up.
Definitely. So at launch, visit us on Facebook at Launch Richmond. On Facebook is the best way to get all of our details. And you can also email us at info@launchrichmond.com. Come on over, and our website is launchrichmond.com.
All right, so Crystal Clear Financial Solutions, we're on Facebook.com/Crystal Clear Financial Solutions. I'm also on Instagram and LinkedIn, Crystal Suber or Crystal Clear Financial Solutions, and crystalclearfinancialsolutions.com. My phone number is 804-601-0532. Again, it's 804-601-0532. You call, you will get me, or a machine, but I will call you back. And I do offer a free financial review, so definitely reach out.
Lamar?
And I'm Lamar Taliaferro, Director of Business Development for Poplar Springs Hospital. We do offer a variety of services for adolescents, adults, and our military. We also offer outpatient services. If you or a loved one needs any of assistance, you're more than welcome to either walk in at our hospital, or you can call us directly at 866-546-2229, where we can do an on-site assessment to see if you need assistance with services, and get you the best help you need.
Can we come back to me real quick?
Sure, absolutely. We got nothing but time.
Thank you.
Don't worry about it.
I forgot to mention my nonprofit as well, because I'm kind of wearing two hats.
Oh yeah, there you go. So, get in that nonprofit stuff.
Patchworkrva.org. Patchworkrva.org. We are on all your social media, same Patchwork RVA. And we have a new LGBTQ mentorship program. So we're looking for mentors and mentees. The applications are on our website, patchworkrva.org/rise. The program's known as Rise. So please check that out. Thank you.
Wonderful. And I would love to definitely connect with each of you, because our launches nonprofit is Launch Out Loud, which specifically focuses with kids that are in the middle of divorce situations and kids that have parents that are incarcerated. How do they deal with what's going on inside of them? So they're going to need all types of help, health, and information. So I would love to collaborate with each and every one of you. That would be
Yeah, I can think
wonderful.
about a million ways that launch could be even further entrenched
A great
into
partner.
the community.
Yes.
You know, one of the interesting things, I don't know if you're familiar with Mark Smith here in Richmond. He owns a couple Midas shops here.
Okay.
The milk guy.
Yep, Milk Guy. Milk Guy on LinkedIn and Facebook. But he has, I think, 2 of the 5 largest or highest selling Midas shops in the country.
Oh, wow.
And he never does advertising. All he ever does is come to Midas to get donate blood, get a free oil change or tire rotation.
okay.
So his entire business model is built around doing good things in the community, and that's what I think about whenever I hear launch. Is come give a pint of blood, get a pass to launch, or get. So I think we got some things to talk about. In our future. So one of the things that we always do on this panel is ask the participants what gives them hope for the future. So I have a vision of the community I want to live in, right, where nobody goes to bed hungry, people have access to education to improve the quality of their own lives and the lives of the people in their community, and that everyone is treated fairly under the law. So because that's my hope for the future, I do certain things to make those things happen, like contribute to community organizations that do those things, because I don't do any of those things, right? But I can do what I do and help those organizations be successful. So with all that being said, what gives you hope? And let's start with Lamar this time.
All right, perfect. I would say what has given me a lot of hope is that, not only the community involvement, but we started doing kind of these barbershop talks where we go and we actually talk about, as you probably know, there's been a lot of resistance with the vaccination. So we started going into some of the low-income areas to talk about the importance of getting vaccinated, the importance of seeking help for mental health. And every time we go into one of these barbershops, it's pretty tense. Everyone's pretty resistant. But we've had success with sometimes it might be just one or two or three different people out of 30 that do agree to make the jump and get vaccinated. So I have hope that we're going to beat COVID. It's going to be over pretty soon.
It's interesting that last piece where there's always a couple, or maybe two or three,
Yes.
or one, but that's what it's about, right? It's one person. You
Yep.
can help one person. You can help two people. You reach somebody. You have an impact, and it makes it all worth it at the end of the day.
Very true.
Well, what inspires me as far as when I look at the landscape of where we are now versus the landscape of where I was, I guess, come in high school, kind of questioning things and trying to figure out, the direction for my own life. Looking at the generation today, all that they're doing, all that they're capable of doing, and we're seeing young entrepreneurs. We're seeing a huge investment in equity and entrepreneurship and black businesses and diversity and inclusion from the top down. And I think this is the first time that I've seen that, and I think it's all going to be very positive for the fabric of our business relationship to come, and also for our community. I also am very inspired by fintech. So in the financial services industry, I know I talked about people doing it themselves like it's a bad thing, but it's a great thing because I wanted to invest money, but I had no idea how to. And you think you have to pay all these fees and have this, I worked for a financial company before. You had to have $100,000 of assets just to be able to get any advice. And that's not the case today. There's so many resources out there. We now have things like Webull and Robinhood and Coinbase. So many ways for people to actually be able to invest and grow their money. Acorns. To be able to invest and grow their money themselves. And there's so many tools out there, there's really no excuse, and it's more accessible. Financial services is more accessible to everyone. And I think that's very encouraging, very, very encouraging.
Love it. And I love what gives me hope. And what I love is the power of the 3 E's: ethics, economics, and entrepreneurship. And ethics to us is one of the most important because that talks about character transformation. So if your character isn't where it should be, then what are you going to do with your economics? If it isn't where it should be, what are you going to do with entrepreneurship, with the business you start? So knowing that people are caring about their character, caring about making right decisions, caring about right versus wrong, or what's right for your community and where you are, and seeing the transformation of young adults and teenagers saying, you know what, this is more advantageous, but this is what's right. I'm going to do what's right. That gives me hope when I see teenagers making great decisions. So I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about what's getting ready to happen, what's happening now, the generational wealth that's transforming. The future is bright.
It is bright. And this is Chris Mayfield with the Fusion Hub, and we look forward to seeing you again next month when we have our business panel. You can catch this entire broadcast on ESPN 106.1, not next week, but the following Tuesday, and we will see you then. Thank you very much.